Spotlight TV. I am your host, Emily Zubi, and we are just really kicking off 2025 in style. We have an amazing rock star today, Haim Dubitzky, who is the executive director at the Palace Group, and senior living. I mean, let me tell you, I want to go live at the Palace. It's amazing. But he's such a rock star speaker, a man of many talents, and actually ran into him at a Branches event, career night, where he was inspiring youths and all around community leader. We're so happy to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you,
Welcome
Emily.
to Spotlight. And the Spotlight now is on you. This is all about you. So
I'm flattered. Thanks.
Let's get started with family, right?
Yeah.
Because this is a family legacy, and and you are taking that charge and carrying it forward. So,
Well, the Palace is a family business. My brother and I work there. My parents started this 40 years ago, 44 years now, very biblical, 1980, with a 21-bed assisted living. And now we're the largest single provider, family-run business for senior living in South Florida. 1,560 team members. So that includes several buildings in Homestead, Kendall, Weston, Coral Gables, pharmacy, and a home health agency. So quite large. They really have done everything. We joined about 24 years ago, my brother and I. So we're very happy to be part of it. It is a wonderful business to be in. And in today's age of technology, it is I'm very thankful this is a type of business we get to be in, a people business, something that may be AI proof down the road, because that's going to be a big thing for the future. But yeah, it's a family business. Very happy to work here. It does not feel like 24 years.
24 years. That's
yeah.
incredible. What would you say are the things that you most learned, like lessons out of a legacy with your parents? I mean, that you make sure that you incorporate as you lead this legacy forward?
The number one thing are the people. The people that work in the business, that work with you. They don't work for you. They work with you. How to treat them. I learned that lesson from my first job before I joined the company.
What was that?
I had a boss that said something not nice to me, and I said, I don't need that kind of treatment, and I left. I said, I'll go work with my mommy. I was young back then, so she was my mommy. So I came and I joined the family business with open arms, and I never forgot that lesson. How you treat the people is how they will treat everyone else around you. And we're very fortunate. It shows from third-party recognition. We have a multitude of awards for the company. We're very proud of them. The top three are U.S. News & World Report Best Independent Living, the Gallup Exceptional Workplace Award, which is 7 years, hopefully 8 years in a row. It's a global award, Best Exceptional Places to Work in the World. And then our newest one is Fortune Magazine. Most people have heard of Fortune, so we are number one in the country 2 years in a row.
That is amazing. Yeah. Congratulations. And we're so grateful. Not only are we proud to host our 12th annual 50 Shades of Pink Rockstar Awards May 1st. But we have our CEO Circle Lunchtime Labs there, and everything is luxury from the moment you get in. But what you said about people, that is the most important. Like, everyone is just so service oriented, so polite, so nice. I've had the great honor also of attending a lot of the special events through a friend of ours. So that's how I came to know it. And I'm like, this place is happening.
Yeah. No, nothing happens in the buildings without the team members. When you get into certain companies, depending on the size of it, you have to take care of them more than you take care of the things that you need to take care of, because they do everything. I'm one person, but there's another 1,559 people around me. You can't do everything. You have to motivate the people to get them to do what you want to do, and have them enjoy doing it, that it's fulfilling for them. If they're not fulfilled, it's never going to work.
Well, you also lead with a smile. I mean, leadership we're doing our coffee table book of leaders, and I've been spending a lot of time with different leaders in the community. And the one thing I've observed is that you walk the talk and talk the walk. Like you're consistent. And I've seen you under very stressful situations where everyone's tugging away at you, and you're like, okay, you're a man of the people, right? So what would you say is your personal secret sauce to leadership?
Treat people as you want them to treat you. It's that simple. When you're in a position of leadership, you can be an authoritarian dictator if you want. It's not going to get the best out of people. It just isn't. Nobody wants to be treated that way. It doesn't matter what you give them or anything else. It matters how you treat them. So it doesn't matter if I'm talking to a dishwasher, a certified nursing assistant, or another executive. I will talk to them the same way no matter what. Say hello, good morning, how are you? If I know something about them, how is your family? How was that yesterday? How was your school going? If I know that, you can't know everything, but what you know. And as long as you're connected at that level, they're just human. Nobody wants to be treated like a jerk. Nobody does.
What's a typical day? What's a typical day like then?
Oh boy. I wear so many hats on a given day. Right now, I'm going to take over one of our buildings.
Congratulations also too, because you're, from vice president, you had very low performance and all these certifications, everything. And you are now appointed executive director and taking on even bigger responsibilities and more of the helm, right? Yeah. So, typical day looks like?
Well, my typical day is very multivaried. I've had over 10 managerial, I think 11 now, managerial positions within the company, in IT, in accounting, in director of customer service, human resources, sales. I just finished working on new budgeting because we had a big software upgrade and change. So I was back in that for a month, and something I haven't touched in about 15 years or so. So I'm always in and out of certain things. I like to call myself a plug. I'm kind of put wherever we're needed at the time in the moment. The decision to go for this young lady who's been a wonderful asset of ours for many years. She will be missed, but she's got some personal issues she needs to attend to. We all understand. She gave us a month notice, and we said, hey, no problem. So, go. We'll wish you the best, and the door's always open for you. And we've always kept the door open for the best people. And having said that, we've had 2 that had recently resigned to pursue other matters in their life, and they both come back as of last week. So it tells us a lot about us as a company. But I have gone on and taken multivaried roles, and those don't stop. Those don't stop. I will be put into a sales position or function for a moment, or take over this building. It's my second stint as taking over a building. It's not necessarily anything new for me per se, but I'm doing everything. I'm working on special projects on the side at all times. So I don't stop working. Everything I do is fun because it's always different and interesting.
You really keep up with technology. And we were just talking before the show started about AI and all these other, what I so admire is that you're always keeping up. And I've seen you speak on Bitcoin and everything else, and you're you're a dynamic speaker. But how do you keep up with the times? What do you do to kind of keep that learning going so that, like you mentioned, tech, and that you've gone through each of the positions, the reason you're able to do that is I'm sure you educate yourself on what's needed in that role.
One of my biggest passions is efficiency. The one resource you'll never get back in your life is time. That's it. Once it's gone, it's spent. And it doesn't matter how much money you have, it's equally spent. So if I'm able to save time somehow, some way, especially when you're working 8, 10, 12 hours a day, 20 hours a day, whatever it may be for a given time, that time is gone. And if you don't make it efficient, that you don't have to spend 12 hours, if you could spend 11 hours, 10 hours, this is huge. And people don't really understand that. So a lot of people do not invest their time to build things to save them time in the future. They just kind of say, well, my learning is done, and so to accomplish this task or this goal will be that amount of time, and that's it. That's terrible, especially when it's something redundant and repetitive. So many times when I've taken over different roles or been in separate operations to be with people, I have looked at how are they spending their time and how are they wasting their time. And I really am, fortunately for myself, good enough to think this is very inefficient. Let's fix that. We've had many accomplishments that countless. A very simple one is just going ahead and using something like Amazon Prime. And all the general managers from all the buildings said, "You have no idea what you've done for us." And so, "Oh, I know, because I sat in your chair." And if you don't sit in the chair to know what the headache is, you will never fix it. And the fix is not just that little fix right there and then. Mm-hmm. For us, it's exponential. It's, an hour a week for all 10 of our GMs is 10 hours a week at their pay rate. You do the calculation, you'll come up to good savings over time. And what was my time investment? Minuscule compared to their savings. And it wasn't just their time and their headache or the money, it's their well-being, because these redundant tasks that are mundane and boring don't add to a person's life. So if I could save them their time, I'm all over it. It's over it.
It's absolutely, it's such progressive thinking.
Yeah.
And, in time management, there's that Pareto principle, how 80% of your time producing 20% of result. And if you could flip that around to, 20% of your activity producing 80%, it's like that's the efficiency key.
You're getting into my economics degree now. Yes, Pareto principle. I remember.
There you go. Yeah, I did some training and development on Wall Street, but
there you go.
But yeah, now pulling out all the stops. But the idea of also rotating through those different positions, so you know exactly where the inefficiencies are, and sometimes the simplest of changes, produce the biggest results. So I love that.
Yeah, when I've taken over different positions, sometimes I wasn't necessarily looking forward to, because you don't know what you're getting into. But then you get there and you're like, our people are just suffering with this process. That cannot be. And that is, I think, the biggest gift I can give back to the company is to be able to see those at times. Even just yesterday, I had my first meeting with the lady that's leaving us to do a little transition. And when I heard a couple of things, I said, that won't happen anymore. That's just no good. But why does it take so long to get to me is another question. Uh-huh. They don't want to bother me with it. That they think they're bothered, but they have no idea how much I want to help them just have an easier life.
Yeah. You have a passion for the business. I mean, you love what you do is what I see. Like, I mean, you have a genuine care and concern. And I know that family members love to see that. And I mean, there are times where, I see some of the things that they come to you with, and you give it, whether it's what might seem as minuscule to one is big to another. And you treat them equally, and, you treat everyone like they're your number one client from what I see. And that's, it doesn't get better than that.
It's easy. When you know you're helping people very directly, it's very satisfying. It's very fulfilling. If you don't like to help people, this is not the business for you.
Right.
I mean, we could put you in accounting in the back room and typing away. If you don't like people, you can do that too. It's not the vast majority of our business, but sure.
What's the vision for you for the future? What would you say? Like we're sitting here, maybe 5-10 years out, God willing. What do you see on the map for yourself?
Wow, you're dealing with a family business, and only 1 in 7 family businesses in the world make it to the second generation. So you're talking 6 out of 7 will never get past the founders. And my brother and I, early on, wanted to join the business, not knowing anything, and 24 years just passes like that, very quickly, very quickly. And my parents are still working.
I see them.
They're working every day. Uh-huh. They're not slowing down. They're present in the buildings. They're still holding their meetings. They're still doing things. Sure, they're getting older. But that's a tough thing for a family business. For your listeners and your audience out there that are involved in family business, there are a lot of dynamics that go into that that are not easy. From the first generation to the second generation, to get that, 1 out of 7, I'd rather flip a coin. If you have a family business, this is not easy. So in the future, one of the dynamics you have is when do you start to do that transition process and say, okay, let's take over some of the stuff. Let's start to do some of the heavy lifting that you've done for 40 plus years. And that's not easy to talk with parents about. It's not easy because they're so involved and it's part of their life. And you don't want to take that away from them. You want them to enjoy it as much as they do because they've built that. So those are tough discussions. And so right now, I still have my family. My daughter is 17. As of a few days.
Your daughter was on the show.
My daughter.
Your daughter and your wife, complete rock stars. I mean, so, I see that this is all stuff you practice at home as well. Yeah. Because, that family, you can tell a lot when you meet, family. So, yes, tell us.
So I have my wife, my daughter's 17. My son is going to be 15. It's I don't want to lose that time. You don't want to lose any of those moments that you have with your family. So I have to balance that very well because I'm not getting that back. Right. They're not going to wait and say, hey, you could come back, Dad, and talk to us later when you're doing everything for the business from A to Z. So there's a blessing with my parents still working as much as they want to work. No one's pushing them. So I am focused on, okay, keep learning every little nuance of the business I can. And who knows where the world is in another 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. And then you don't have to machinate too much in your head about what you want to do tomorrow. You can think about it a little bit. But, you could be putting yourself through a mental exercise that's not necessary at the time. So I am focused to make sure that I am available for my kids as much as possible. They're almost out.
It's beautiful.
And I try to encourage the team members that do have families as well. Hey, listen, work smarter, work more efficient. Don't forget your family. And everything else will work fine. Everything else will work fine. I think about the family business a lot. My brother and I talk about it a lot. There are vast dynamics that happen there. And we joke a lot about things. And we're serious. God, I'm on live TV. I only have 8 minutes. Thank goodness.
Well, one of the things I noticed are just, I've seen like a really great, refreshing type of topics. I always look at the activities board, okay? And the movies and the this and that. And it's always, let's just put it this way. It's not what you expect out of senior living. And why is that? Because, look, as I get older, I mean, I'm not dead. I'm growing younger, and that attitude is, age is a state of mind, and being able to treat elderly, with love, compassion, respect, and have even the speaker series that you guys offer are really, you see me hanging out at the Palace. That's why.
We are not inexpensive. That's another words for saying we're expensive. We are at the top echelon of senior living in the country, if not the world. I haven't seen too many places outside the United States. And with that, there's a high demand and expectation of what we give. So when people do think we are on the pricier side, they're right. But when they come and they see what we give, they understand. And when people still think we're too expensive, we give more for the same price. So it is a mentality of you will get more than you expect. Just like anything else in the world. Okay, you can buy a car. What kind of car you want to get? Well, you buy one car, you'll get certain features and amenities. You buy another, you'll get more, hopefully, if it's more expensive. You're not just going to pay more just because. So we are giving a lot more that people will never see unless you have come to visit or you actually live with us. And once you're there, you understand. If you've come from another community, the change is profound. That's when it really sticks out to the senior community and the families that, you know, my mother was in New York, she was here, but we moved down to Miami. We're moving her down. They come, they see the change. They're flabbergasted. They're like, oh, you do so much. Well, that's the purpose of what we're doing here. We're not just building a nice place and giving you the same thing everywhere else. You have a life to live. You expect certain things, and that's what we want to give. We want to be the upper echelons there.
And you are. I mean, we had our CEO Circle a lunchtime lab, and we ended the year. And not only was it the lunch, your executive chef, just fabulous. I mean, everything was beautiful. Everything was delicious. But, you know, there were a lot of other women in our CEO Circle that had never been there. And they were like, this is not what I thought it was. And, you know, they just, you know, were like these chandeliers and, you know, the luxury and all these things, because it's just something that, you know, like you said, it's an experience, and you deliver, you know, it's the most luxurious I've seen in the country.
The Palace of Coral Gables was the first one to really, really just kind of pop. Every building that my parents built was just more and more luxurious because they saw the need and the demand and the desire. And when they put the plans out for what we were going to do at Coral Gables, everyone said, you're crazy. This is just, you know, this is asinine. This will never work. This is too expensive. It's too much. But nothing great ever happened by doing the ordinary thing.
Right. Right. Well, everyone knows I love to dance, so I did a little TikTok on the spiral staircase.
You know, I didn't see it. I need to see it. You got to send it to me.
I mean, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah. We have 4 minutes left, but want to give our audience a way to reach you. So this is your time for your commercial, your minute commercial.
My commercial. You want to reach me directly. We're very accessible to everybody. My first name at thepalaceus.com, HAIM at thepalaceus.com. Just shoot me an email. I respond within 24, 48 hours. Almost. It's easy. That's just easy. Yeah, I'm easiest with that. I'm not going to give my cell phone. I don't know if I want to do that.
That's okay.
But for those who know me, my cell phone and text messages are always open to everybody.
And website, if you want to see.
Thepalace.org. That's easy. We couldn't get thepalace.com. That was taken by some sort of chat company, but thepalace.org, O-R-G. We've had that one for years. That's easy. You can see everything there, and you can contact us there as well. Yeah.
Wonderful. So let's get personal for a second, because now, you know, I have met your family. What advice would you give to your younger self?
Oh, my younger self?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Before way young.
Wow. Besides buy more Bitcoin. I won't go there. My younger self. No one's ever really asked me that one before.
We can come back to it.
I would come back to it. You know, maybe I would say...
Were you always this happy? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. That's a good question. Was I always this happy? Probably not.
You're a happy kid.
You know, every kid goes through their trauma of life, and you don't know what you are when you're a kid. You're just young and dumb. You grow up and you figure things out. I think the best thing for me was just to be curious. Continue to be curious in life, and just learn whatever you want to learn. And if something fascinates you, go after it. Because there's something there. You're being drawn and attracted to it. Don't deny it. Just kind of look at it. You'll find your way.
How do you keep up with, just real quickly, like, because you're always on new time. Like, I've learned what I've learned about Bitcoin from you, because I sat and heard your presentation. But, you know, we were talking about AI. Like, how do you keep up with what's next?
You asked me that earlier. I do have one newsletter for AI because there's so much out there. So that's just an easy way for me to keep up. You can't keep up with everything with AI. It's moving too fast for it. It's almost a full-time job to keep up with it. So a newsletter like that is easy. I have learned more from YouTube and the internet than I think that I ever did from my college degree.
That's amazing.
That's sad.
That's pretty
That's
amazing.
sad because there's so much out there nowadays. I joked last night at family dinner. I said, you could have saved a whole bunch of money by putting me in front of YouTube. But that was that was the time of life that you went to college, and that was where you learned everything. But nowadays, education, I believe, will change drastically within the next 5 to 10 years through the internet and AI.
Well, thank you so much. You are the best. I really do hope that you will speak at our next CEO Circle. Thank you for joining us on Spotlight TV. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week, where we're going to be having the Life Altering Stem Cell Institute, and it's all about turning back time.
Thank you, Emily.
So we will see you next week on Spotlight TV. Thank you.
Thank you.